to Pour Painting with Ron. In today's video we're going to be doing a colourful swipe. This particular technique I quite enjoy doing. It's not too difficult, famous last words, but anyway, we'll see how it goes today. Now I'm going to be using quite a large canvas today. I'm using this Montmart thin edge canvas. It's 40 centimetres tall and 80 centimetres wide, and I've prepared it in the usual way. So I've put some painter's tape on the back, much easier to get off than standard masking tape, and some giant push pins. Now I've tightened the back just with a little bit of water and a hair blow dryer, just to stretch out the canvas a bit so it gets nice and tight. And I've also made sure it's level so that my paint doesn't slide off one side while it's drying. So that's the canvas I'm using today. Now, my background colour today is going to be black. And then I'm going to highlight that with all sorts of different metallic colours. Should look really nice. Now the black I'm using today is Montmart acrylic black. Now, I do have it upside down for a reason. My bottle's almost empty, so I just want it to drop down to the bottom to make the last little bit easier to get out. I used the last little bit, I think, for this painting today. So I'm using the Montmart black, and I've mixed it really thin, thinner than I'd normally use for something like a ring pour or a flip cup pour. You'll see the consistency in a bit. But I've mixed it 1 part paint to about 2 parts of my pouring medium, which today is Floetrol, and a little bit of water as well to get the consistency that I want. And I've mixed up about 800 grams or so, although I don't think I'll use quite that much, but it's better having too much than not enough. Now the colours I'm using today are all Deco Art Extreme Sheen Metallics. They work really well in a technique such as this because they're bright and they create really interesting lacing effects in the swipe when you mix them with Floetrol. And I've mixed these 1 part paint to 1 part Floetrol. Now I can't really give you how many grams of each that I'm using because you really don't use much in a painting like this at all. I tend to mix up a lot, put it in squeeze bottles and then just use it as I want. So I've got a couple of colours left that I'm using today. The main colour for my swipe will be gold, 24 karat gold, and then I'm interspersing that with some other different extreme sheen colours. Topaz, some ruby, a nice blue, forget the name of this one, I think this one's coral colour, nice pinky red colour, some amethyst, some green, I think it's emerald green, and some aquamarine. So they're just some colours I had left over that I thought would look nice together. I was interested in sort of like a colourful rainbowy sort of effect amongst the gold and the black. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Okay, so I'll just put these paints away and then we'll get started. Righto, we're back. Just managed to fit the canvas in the frame, so hopefully you can see everything that's happening today. Now the black, as I mentioned before, is quite thin, 2 parts Floetrol and a bit of water. So as you can see, I'm only getting a teeny weeny mound when I dribble it off the spoon, and if I do a little twirly shape, the mound only stays there for 1 or 2 seconds. So it's really quite thin. If it's too thick, you won't be able to spread it evenly over your canvas, and it will tend to mix with the colours you put on the top, and it will look really disgusting. So I've mixed up 2 cups. I don't think I'll use all of it. I'll need to keep a bit aside as my swipe colour. I think this one's a bit thinner, so I'll keep, what will I do? No, I'll pour the other one out, I think. Now this is the messy bit. as you'll soon see, black goes everywhere as well. All right, so I'll just throw it out on the canvas. So that's that one. I might need a bit more, I think. You don't use as much as you would if it was a flip cut pour or something. But I do want enough to cover my canvas properly. Okay, we'll see how we go with that. Got a bit aside just in case. Now I need my little spatula thingy. Can't find the big one. I'll just use the small one. I'll just spread it out a little bit. And then I'm going to tilt it so that I don't have a huge amount left on the canvas, and a nice even layer. That should be plenty. Yeah, this is the yuck bit. Okay, if it's too thick, you won't be able to tilt it properly. This in. I sometimes have it even thinner than this. And you won't see this part, but you can imagine what's happening. I only want a thin layer of paint left on my canvas. And I'll go down this end, and you can see it's really messy. Good way to paint your clothes. Okay, just even it out a bit. I think I've got a lump of something in there. Lump of something. Get my tweezers. And something there. I think that's all. Now I'll just make sure everything's covered. You just dip a finger in the paint. As I said, black goes a long way. It's easy to cover your canvas. I'll just come around, make sure the back is done. A little bit in that corner. So I'll just move it back into frame. So I'll just go and wash my gloves, and then we'll come back and continue. Okay, I'm back. So I'll give it a bit of a torch just to get rid of the air bubbles. There's quite a few. now we've got a nice thin even layer of black over the whole canvas. Hopefully that will work well. Now my swiping tool today, I'm going to just use a pack of playing cards or some old playing cards. You can use the side, long side or the short side. They're just the right thickness, and I've just cut some in half as well, just in case I want to use a thinner piece. I don't think I will, but you never know. And I've just cut the corners round just so I don't get any interesting lines in my paint, or that's the theory anyway. I've got a couple of paper towels here as well that I can use just to wipe the cards off a bit in between swipes. All right, now I'm wanting to do sort of a droopy rope shape here on my canvas. So I'll do 2 lines of gold with a little bit of space in the middle to put my black swiping colour. So I've got my 24 karat gold. Okay, now I'll start up here. I just dribble off the side. So I'm using quite a bit here, since it is the main colour I'm using. I think that's about even. I'll just put a little bit more on here. The gold tends to go a long way. Okay. And then I shall decorate it with some of my other colours. And I'll do a sort of a zigzaggy pattern, if I can get it out. Not much left in this one. You got the idea, like a little zigzaggy pattern. Not using as much as the gold. So as you see, a little bit goes a long way. Some of this one. I'm not doing the exact same wavy pattern. And I don't have much amethyst, but I'll use what I've got. Oops, running out. There we go, just enough. And some of this green. hopefully it will look interesting. Some of this aquamarine. Oop. Shake it down a bit. I wanted to use up the last little bits. Squeeze a little bit more out. Oh well, that'll do. Some of the topaz. I haven't used this one yet. I might actually use a bit more of that blue because I like it. I like this blue. I think it's called Sapphire from memory. It could look nice with the gold. All right, so we've got plenty of paint on there now. Now I need to pour just a little bit of black, not too much, otherwise I'll have nowhere for it to go. But I'll pour a little bit of black in between the gold. Now I could put it in a squeeze bottle if I wanted to. But this is the colour I'm going to swipe with. Okay. Right. Now when you're swiping, you don't need to press hard. It's a matter of, the idea is to drag the black or your swipe colour across the other colours to create an interesting pattern. Now I might turn the canvas around when I do the other side because I find it hard swiping in the other direction. Right, so I put the card in the middle where the black is, and I just drag it up. Now it starts off not looking terribly wonderful. Oh. That one was better. You can see up here what's happening. I need to do this one again because I didn't swipe enough black over. If you don't swipe enough colour over, you won't get that lacing. that one wasn't good. I'll do that again. Oh, where we're going, I might do this one again. Okay, we'll see how that develops. Now I'll turn my canvas around in a second. I'll get rid of this gold bit. There's another fleck of something there. Okay, we'll turn it around so I can do the other side. You can see how the lacing is developing there. I'll use the other card, a fresh one, for a fresh side. This gets a bit gloopy. How's it looking? Nice? You can see if you use too much colour or too much black, it has nowhere to go when you swipe it, and you have just too much left. Let's turn the card around. You never quite know what you're going to get. Okay, now just get a little skinny bit, and I'll do this one. There's another one here. Oh, no, I think the others look okay. All right. Now I'll just get my torch, and I'll give it a bit of a torch. It takes a little while for the metallics to come through. Don't get too close, because you will burn the paint. Okay, I think that's looking awesome. Now there's a couple of little bits I don't like. I don't like this little bit up here. So I'll just take that off. And I'll get a bit of black. Now don't worry too much if your black paint is a little bit bumpy in places. That'll smooth out as it dries. So we just cover over the bit I didn't like there. A little bit up there. Okay, that's gone. Okay, now if you do get some little bits here that you don't particularly like, what I've found easier, rather than trying to get rid of these middle bits in the middle now, wait till it's dry and you can just paint over it with a little bit of black to make them disappear. You may sort of risk wrecking your painting now if you do that, but we'll see how that develops. So when it dries, I may end up painting over these little bits in here just to give a nice looking black ribbon there. But we'll see. I may like it as it is when it dries. I think that's looking really awesome. The Extreme Sheen paints, they're really glittery when they dry. They're really, really awesome. Now, I'll bring you in for a closer look so you can see how it's turned out. Righto, so here's the painting, I think. I'm holding it above my head as usual. You see, it creates just a lovely effect. So I'll bring you down close. So you can see the lovely mix of colours and lacing that we've ended up with in this painting. It's just really stunning. I think we've got like a rainbow effect happening, but the gold just balances everything together. Isn't it lovely? Not hard to do. Just remember, don't press too hard with the card. You just want to swipe the black across your colours, dragging them out to the side, and the Extreme Sheen will react with the acrylic paint to create this cell action. So what do you think? I think it turned out really well. I really like doing this technique, and it's not really that difficult provided you have the right consistency of your paint to begin with. Maybe that's something you'd like to try. Well, give it a go. It's good fun. So I'm sure I'll be doing more of these in the future, and you'll see more variations of the swipe technique on these videos. Now, as usual, if you liked what you see today, please press the like button. It helps my videos get found on YouTube. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please take a moment to subscribe. So I hope you stay well, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and happy painting!